Did you hit the front door? But
Yeah.
I'm trying to, but I have to be able to get a text message so I can log in, so I haven't been able to log in. No, I can't.
slow.
Just forget it. Okay, we'll get it later. All right.
Yeah, mine.
You
says
can
Bob
sign
Zant,
in.
like
You
2022.
wouldn't let me, gave me a code and I still couldn't sign in. So I don't know what's going on with computers.
Yeah,
I'm not there.
I got this.
Yeah. you're
We'll
just-
get the
you're fired.
proclamation. Kim can read them or whatever.
Did you hear that?
But that was the only thing I was gonna pull up. They got
We
some
fell apart.
proclamations here in 2022.
Maybe. What is that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's bad.
It's pretty good. I love it. Not yet.
You're not getting yours on either. Joel,
Pardon?
are you getting yours on?
I
can't get
got Bob Zant night 2022.
Oh. okay.
Seriously.
I can't get mine on either, so.
Yeah, I can't get mine.
I'm gonna use one. Would you like mine? It's probably-
Oh, it's all right. I can just read.
You can read.
I can read. Dang
We can't get the
it.
pads signed.
Everything's 20, I can pull me up,
The one
everything's
that's signed
20,
on this.
everything's 2022.
Here, show him your screen. He can't get signed on.
It's signed in like Bob Zant.
Oh, I turned it way down.
Okay, I hit the,
Oh, go ahead, hold on.
This guy's gonna be afraid of us. We can't even get our computers on.
okay, hit what?
Which one?
I can't see it. There you go. It's logged into my emails.
Got it.
Open that one. Yep. There you go.
Got
Is that all we have to do on Tammy's? Let me try.
Shut up, Bart.
Turn it on.
there.
Oh,
And here I'm really nice to you.
hers comes up like that.
But that's mine, Chris. We need to go under yours, remember? That's on my Hotmail. It won't let me in. Jake's not here.
Why are these tablets such a pain?
Yeah, it's brought over.
Okay, I got the doors open.
How can I do that? Oh, never mind. I'll use Jake's. I'll slip in. Thank you.
Thank you.
So. Are we ready?
We're ready.
She's got.
Okay. Call this meeting to order. It's have a pledge of allegiance. Allegiance, Mark.
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the roll call show that Councilwoman Hartke's here, Councilman Nordine and Mayor Highsmith, we are here. The Councilman Whitener, and Councilman Statler are not present at this time, but hopefully on the way. But we do have a quorum. So we can move forward. Let's join me in prayer, those that want to. Lord, please bless this council and everybody that's in attendance to give us guidance as we're listening to Dr. Idlechick's proposal. That would be such a benefit for our area and our community. We ask all this in your name, Lord, amen. Dr. Idlechick, would you like to, we have that reversed. I thought that was corrected. Would you like to lead off and tell us just a little bit about this project, try to educate the governing body and the public?
Sure. Would I set it up?
Yeah, please go up there and identify yourself and.
Hi, so my name is Gary Idlechick. I'm a physician, cardiologist, and actually the president of Wyoming Cardiopulmonary Services. And I'd like to give you all an overview of the project. Mayor Highsmith and I have been kind of discussing from the fledgling days of the for sale sign at the old city hall to now. As a practice, we've been established in 1978. During that time, we've serviced the communities in the region: Riverton, Lander, Thermopolis, Worland, and have been consistent with providing care. The one caveat that has frustrated us is the disjointed time that we are able to spend in this region to care for patients. We go to Riverton twice a week. We go to Thermopolis, and when we were fully staffed, to Worland every other week. Lander, we go every other week. And what we've noticed prior to losing one of our members, we had to pull back from Worland because of that, and I'll get to that later, is that we have a deficit in meeting the needs of patients for both follow-up and new consultations. We're backed up about 100 new consults per month. And because of the limited time we have to see patients, in part due to travel time, access is limited. And the concern for us as physicians are that we are unable to prevent, by timely access to care, people presenting acutely to the emergency department with either uncontrolled hypertension, uncontrolled arrhythmias, heart attacks requiring transfer to Wyoming Medical Center, which in and of itself has its own logistical issues for both the patient and the families, as well as heart failure, which is a major cause of hospitalization. And one of the things I thought when I drove by that would be beneficial for the patients in the region, for the practice to provide efficient care. And we provide a commodity that is increasingly on the decline within the country, not just in Wyoming, which I'll also get to, but for the surrounding region outside of Shoshoni. Shoshoni is strategically located centrally to be a keystone, if you will, to the provision of not just cardiac care, which in of itself would be a paradigm shift on how care is provided in this region, let alone in the state of Wyoming, but to extend beyond the borders of Washakie, Fremont, Hot Springs, to include Bighorn and Park. They would also have the ability to access that care. And by having a consistent clinic 4 days a week with defined hours, which we would like to do 8 to 5, we can already improve access overnight to 8 additional patients per day just by having one clinician available. That amounts to 1,531 visits per year, assuming a 48-week work here. And that we usually do 50 weeks, but weather, etc. So the way we view things are that to provide the care that the people in this community and the surrounding regions deserve, by being present 4 days a week, you know exactly where we are. You can walk in if need be. You know, you can get an appointment 4 days a week, perhaps 5, depending on how things evolve. And you know, from a primary care standpoint, someone is in your backyard able to take care of your patients without requiring to go outside of the state, which I think is a key thing. We are citizens of Wyoming. We're here to provide care to the people of Wyoming. We've been doing it since 1970. Okay. Any questions thus far at all?
Any questions, council, the audience? Any questions for Gary?
You're in the office with Novik, Novik and
Well,
Yvonne.
he's
he
employed
still
by
there?
me now.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, it's a Novik, Wicks, Pickerel, Lucher,
Yvonne.
the group that Dr. Heiser started.
Right.
And what we envision is not just access to general cardiac care by being seen by a physician, which is the most important thing ultimately, but also needed testing to confirm diagnoses. Echocardiography we'd like to provide, vascular imaging, ultrasound based. We'd like to evolve to nuclear imaging. Easily overnight, we can do kind of outpatient cardiac monitoring. That will happen very easily. And we provide all aspects of cardiac care at this point, general cardiology, risk factor modification, interventional care, which is basically plumbing. We replace valves, we close holes in the hearts, we put devices in patients so their heart rhythm will stay normal, or they will be defibrillated if they have an abnormal rhythm that's fatal, and we improve heart function with certain devices. So we provide pretty much almost the entire care you would get in a tertiary referral center outside the state. And we're working on bringing additional specialization with an electrophysiologist. So we're actively recruiting that.
What do you work on life like to this area?
So the idea would be to help facilitate care. Lifelight brings us patients to Wyoming Medical Center where we're on call. I'm actually on call now. My partner's covering. I just finished the procedure and ran out the door to get here. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think this is a very valuable thing for the community. What we'd like to establish as things evolve, I spoke to the CEO of Wyoming Medical Center, even something as simple as a shuttle service. Because there are certain things the region can't provide due to the specialization of care that you could have in a concentrated population. And the way, as you know, Wyoming Medical Center can exist to provide that care is because patients come in, including patients from this region. And also transportation to and from other surrounding regions, including potentially Cody, the local areas, Riverton, Lander, people are unable to get a ride, etc.
Bart, could you come up and ask your question again, so in case they couldn't hear what the question was? I don't know if they could hear, they hear Gary speaking, but I don't know if they could hear, for the record, what your question was.
About life like, if it be something that you guys would have.
And this is Bart Broman, correct? Yes. Okay, it's just that way we have it, so people are, a lot of people watch this YouTube later on when they're. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Bart. Appreciate it.
So, Doctor, do the electrophysiologist, what is their role?
So what the electrophysiologists do is help kind of short circuit abnormal electrical pathways in the heart by going inside the heart, mapping out the electrical system, and finding where the abnormal pathways come from. Certain ones are pre-established. There's an arrhythmia called atrial fibrillation you may have heard of. What they're able to do now with a special technology is they have a basket It basically sends out electromagnetic wave and fries the cells that cause that. And before, they used to make little circular lines around the veins that bring the blood flow back to the heart. But in essence, what they do is try to prevent people from having arrhythmias. Okay. We've been involved with the establishment of the P Lab in Wyoming Medical Center. We're a private practice. We're not part of Banner. We like that separation for multiple reasons, but we need the facility to take care of our patients. And so we did establish that, and we're bringing on a person, hopefully sooner than later.
Is the electrophysiologist, is that a physician as well?
Yes, he's a cardiologist, and
That's
unlike me
specialized
being
in-
right,
okay.
instead of being like a plumber like me, he's an electrician.
A plumber. Yeah, you're a plumber. That's right.
Yeah. What, you got his union card, plumber?
I bet he does, yeah. Thank you, doctor.
Yeah, you're welcome. But we actually see this as a multiple asset opportunity. One is easy access, kind of focal access for people in Shoshoni in the region here. And why Shoshoni? It's because of its strategic location to travel from all the regions. Right here at this crossroad, you can go up to Thermopolis, you can keep going to Riverton or Landing. Beautiful. Two is for us as a practice, we provide a very rare asset to the state. In fact, into the whole country. There's a deficit of physicians of about 40,000 throughout the country. There are more jobs than physicians able to meet them. And that's reflected in cardiology. And we've been actively recruiting to get another plumber for that last 2 years. And the issue is when you're a good candidate, you have a lot of opportunities. And Wyoming has its detraction to people who come from the coast, for example, right? You know, I was born in New York. Please don't put that against me. You know, my parents just got here, and 2 months later I was here. Okay. So, but you know, there was a time when I thought you have East Coast, Chicago, out West Coast, right? I've evolved beyond that. I'm blessed to be here. But that's one detraction to get recruit people. Two is the wives. The husbands love it. They want to be out here. They love the outdoors life. And the women, their wives don't want to come. They hate it. They don't have the shopping. They're shopping. Yeah, materialistic people. Thank God I don't have that. You know, my wife loves it. But so we've been trying very hard. And so we provide something that is declined throughout the country in very limited supply in Wyoming. Specialized cardiac care, well-established, reputable, highly qualified physicians. And we want to improve our efficiency, deliver that care to more people.
So this clinic is just gonna be for people to go to their doctors. There's nobody staying the night there.
So at this point in time, this is not kind of acute care. This is not overnight care hospital, right? Could there be something in the future like a cardiac urgent care? In some ways that happens just because of access.
Are they gonna do cath labs?
That's to be determined. So the cath lab and why what Heiser did was so phenomenal, him and Matter. They realized what the opportunity was for establishing cardiac care in a centralized location in Casper. You have to have a base number of people. And what they did was one guy was on call for a week. The other guy was traveling around from, they used to go to Rock Springs 1 week in a van, just driving from clinic to clinic. Not help. They spend the night in the RV or a hotel. And then when they got back to Casper, the other one switched and the other one was on call. Needless to say, they had multiple wives. Okay. But the idea is to have a density of people. And that's the key. And
Right.
what we actually see is to maintain what we can provide, including open heart surgery, we have to maintain the volume, obviously, in Casper. If we pull out all that volume, that will decline. Now, potential growth, and that's just potential. Could we eventually establish a cath lab here? Yes. Okay.
Okay.
It depends how things evolve. What I can guarantee is overnight, me as a clinician, maybe I'm a bad example, but we as a total group, will go from 20 patients on average to 28. Right?
Okay.
As the volume increases, we foresee that eventually, what the timeline will look like, I'm not sure, 50 patients with 2 providers. That begins to have a density of population centralized here, that the idea of opening an independent cath lab becomes more realistic. I think it'll be over time.
Right.
But my job is to make sure that when people present to the cath lab, it's not with a heart attack.
Right.
It's not with advanced cardiomyopathy and severe heart failure.
Right.
It's not showing up bad and we resuscitate you back to life. And that's what, we want for this area, this whole community.
Right. Thank you.
Yes.
It's, one of the things, I think everybody here knows I had a heart attack 5 years ago. And nothing, the local practitioner I had all the signs, of having heart disease. But all the tests, you went down the gamut of stress tests and echocardiogram, everything, nothing showed I had an issue. But he's not a trained cardiologist. That I had a heart attack, but if I had went to a cardiologist early on instead of a general practitioner, I probably would not have had the heart attack. I'd had a cath lab done in a timely manner. That would I'd have still needed the surgery. I'd have still had the blockages. That would have, but I would have avoided a heart attack. And I was very lucky. It was just a mild heart attack because I had 5 blockages. And that's one thing by having a cardiologist here. And that's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about this project, because that may be saving people's lives, that early detection. So the cath lab, they didn't find it till after I had a heart attack. Then they did a cath lab on me, and then that's where they found the 5 blockages. But most time, I think most people, they catch it, but not everybody gets caught when they do all the EKG was okay, stress test is okay, echo, all of that, all that was good. And so they didn't think I had a heart issue.
Well, I think, it goes back to the key to evaluate any patient is first the history.
Mm-hmm.
And if, for example, you present with symptoms that are cardiac and suggestive of decreased blood flow to the muscle of the heart, the stress test doesn't add anything to that,
Mm-hmm.
right? At the end of the day, there are false positives and false negatives. And if you just rely on testing alone, you're going to cause a lot of harm to patients. And the way to look at a stress test is pretty simple. It's based on moderate risk, ultimately, right? So if it's 50-50 chance you may have something, and I do a stress test, it increases it by 10% or lowers it by 10%, right? So I can say, I don't know what's going on. I do a stress test. It could be cardiac, could be, who knows? Could be reflux. And if it's positive, it goes from 50 to 60%. If it's negative, it goes to 40%, right? And then we'll say, well, let's try this. Why don't we refer you to GI and see what happens, right? But if I have a pre-test probability where I'm listening, I'm like, this is coronary disease, pure and simple. If I have 100% pre-test probability, the test does nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going through the motions ultimately. And we don't practice like that. So we don't do testing to test. We do testing to confirm that maybe something's there, or to basically follow up with what's happening to the heart. Okay, not to fish a diagnosis. And what's good about our practice is you don't need a referral. You can just walk in. We don't need referrals.
That's important. I didn't know you were there that I could walk into,
Yeah.
I thought I needed a referral. And that's
Sure.
what I asked my doctor. Do I need a referral to see a
No, if you're
cardiologist?
healthy, everything is fine. You don't need
Yes.
to know anything, right?
Right.
When you're not, then things become much more concerning and you start digging into it.
Yeah. Any more questions? Do we have anybody online watching now? Can you tell Melissa? Anybody,
Pat and,
Pat Collins or?
yeah, Collins. Want me to unmute him?
Is that you have to have a question? Yeah.
I don't think they have any.
Okay. But,
There was, I heard something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can ask real quick. Hey, Patty.
Anyway.
Hey, Patty.
What?
This is. Do you have any questions?
No,
Dr.
I'm just very interested because I'd love to see this happen.
Okay. All right, muting you. Bye.
You know,
But-
just some additional kind of information. There have been other subspecialties that have reached out to us. And to basically be available in the same location. If the building becomes.
Yeah. In your design of the building, there's, I don't know if you call them suites or examining rooms or whatever, but I believe you have 2 additional rooms for,
It's actually 3, so.
3,
I
okay.
made a separate pod, which could be utilized any different way. It could be third provider from us potentially. Can be an additional provider from another specialty service. Where they have 3 exam rooms in their own kind of office area. And a kind of a separate little bit of a waiting area. You know, there can be used a common one, which is quite large, based on the current design. And we thought that was important because we've gotten interest from other people to want to come. Because they also realize geographically the potential of improving care for the region. And a lot of them do travel to other areas. You know, what we're trying to do is make it less about satellite clinics and have a dedicated clinic. That you can count on the physician to be there.
provide a better service and less travel time, and you can see more.
Right, improved access,
Yes.
more efficient delivery of care. Consistent delivery of care.
Would these be specialties that would kind of complement, the cardiopulmonary?
So pulmonary aspect, it's interesting, when the practice was established, Dr. Heiser was double board in pulmonary and cardiology. So we don't provide the pulmonary aspect. The pulmonology group currently doesn't have the manpower to be, but who does, they're kind of 2 physicians married, good pulmonologists, but they only have enough bandwidth for Casper at this point. Because there was an attrition of capable pulmonologists after the new sheriff came in town. So nothing disparaging about that, but there was a loss. We've got an interest from nephrology, which I think is.
Oh, nephrology, okay.
Yeah, infectious disease. PT, rehab.
Mhm.
We got some interest from neurology as well. So, but the first 2 are very interesting.
Also, in your design, it's got approximately, current design, approximately a 1,500 square foot partial basement.
It does. It does. So some of the guys would spend the night here. If they're, we probably block it off that people are here 4 days a week. So some will spend the night here and stay that 4 days and during the week. My wife would kill me. I'll be driving back,
That's only 90 minutes. What the heck?
Yeah, that's the way I view it, but.
Well,
And, we are wanted to also be available to the community. We're thinking of having just kind of education evenings, just present topics about heart care, heart health. Have kind of a conference room down there, invite people.
Oh, cool.
It's you have the shelved space, basically.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about how we can invest and do that. But everything above ground is really what we're focused on. Below ground, we'll take care of.
I think another thing, in your recruiting, one Wyoming cardiopulmonary is kind of picky too.
We want people that fit our culture, that
Mhm.
want to be in Wyoming. And want to, first of all, they have impeccable training. And they're focused on patient care. That's what we look for. And we think it'll also help us recruit, because currently you drive to Lander, you drive to Thermopolis, you drive to Riverton twice a week. You drive to Douglas, you drive to Rollins, you drive to Buffalo. In some ways, by removing 4 clinics and concentrating them into one, that is more attractive as a sale pitch. We do satellite clinics, i.e. we have a dedicated clinic about an hour away. That's more appetizing to people who have lots of opportunities available to them.
May have some cardiologists want to move to our area.
Absolutely. If that happens, we'll be like, absolutely, this is, your clinic in part. We'll be
Yeah.
coming as well to help. And go from there. But, from the beginning, we see, medical assistants from the region, nurse from the region, receptionist from the region. And then we want a nuclear technician and echo tech as well from the region. So they're dedicated to the people in this community and surrounding areas.
I hear we have a good nursing program at Central Wyoming College, but just a thought,
It's funny because we're in competition with Banner
Yeah.
for nursing.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate to have 4 excellent nurses right now. And they kind of can cut through the salaries, quote unquote. And understand that, growth is there, but more of the lifestyle is there. And it's been difficult to recruit that, actually.
Yeah. Councilman Nordine is actually a dean at CWC
Oh, really?
College.
You do a lot with Wyoming Medical Center, or?
Our nurses go
Right.
anywhere, but most of them really stay in Fremont County.
So it'd be an opportunity
Yeah.
if they're interested. And-
Same with our medical assistants and others, yeah.
But that'd be great.
Yeah.
It's funny, I was thinking, just driving here. If you think about what, you have opportunities and potential training resources and education resources. But you also have potentially a magnet for people wondering what they want to do, right? Children, people going to high school. They can shadow, they can see what it is. Instead of, the natural progression where I'm not sure what type of jobs are available, oil industry, et cetera. You have now access and you see viable specialty clinic. And we may get interest of having homegrown cardiologists from here, just
Yeah.
based on that.
Right. Yeah, what an opportunity.
I think so, personally, obviously. So I am here.
And from the college perspective, we're all about opportunity, and that's a huge part of what we do is try to help people see potential.
Central Wyoming's college president is an economist. Is that correct? Would
He
that be
is, yeah.
correct? And he really likes to get involved in economic development. He's a real asset to our area.
That's good.
Any questions from the audience that Dr. Idleshek hasn't answered or can expand on anything?
On the funding on this project.
Bart Vroman again speaking.
Mark Roman again, on the funding on this project is that something that you're,
We'll talk about that next.
okay. I
Yeah.
just seen the governor has had a thing released today where they're opening up more funding for.
Yeah,
projects.
the state just got awarded, was it last Wednesday or something last week that came out. They've been waiting to see what they got. And well,
So am I involved with that, or is that I have to step out of the funding aspect?
you can stick around as long as you want. you can spend the night, just whatever you want to do, whatever you got, you know what I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, admission
But it's, you can, but if we're ready to go on to be, if we don't have any questions for Gary, we can go on and talk, talk about it. And Jared Hoffman, was, plan one was scheduled to try to get down here, but he got tied up and couldn't make it. He's out of Cody. And Plan One Architect, that's who did our new school. And Plan One is also was our architect for our city hall. And Jared was our head architect, and Jared's actually a partner with Plan One Architects, but he could not make this today.
So I guess I have another question about the building.
Sure.
You know, and that is, we know where the building, you know, what area you're looking at. Is there room for expansion for where you want to go? I mean, I don't know what's coming. I don't know what would happen. I would hope that, you know, expansion would be a pressing need, you know, honestly, you know, but yeah.
I think if you can look at the population, see what the draw can be. Expansion is definitely, looking as a possible opportunity in the future. My understanding is the lot size itself is generous, but there's additional land that may be available if needed to kind of grow.
Right.
But I think, before we run, the first step would be kind of get the clinic established, start getting patients flow established, getting awareness as well. That's going to be a key aspect.
Yeah.
From, a lot of the primary cares in this region refer to us.
Mhm.
So we think that's a great opportunity for patients to have easier access.
Would there be a marketing plan of some sort that you would?
Yes.
Or, I'm not sure if marketing is the right word, but getting the word out.
Yes, the word got out pretty quickly, thanks to Joel, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, wait a minute, how do people know this? He's like, well, we saw a flyer, we saw that thing. I'm like, I didn't show it to anyone. I've been trying to keep it under radar. And the next thing, patients are now asking from this region, Riverton, Lander patients, even patients in Casper just want to know, like, when is this gonna happen? Everyone's excited to have it get off the ground.
One thing, Dr. Idlecheck, I also, with the location on this intersection with Wyoming Cardiopulmonary and this nice, big, beautiful building with great big signs. That's great advertisement too. I think that's one of the reasons you chose this site instead of somewhere else. And, I kind of thought that'd be a great place for a restaurant and thought maybe we can do something, but it just makes really good sense for you on that corner that besides word of mouth, everything else, have all sorts of people driving by, seeing your buildings, knowing that you're there.
Yes, and that I think is, gets to one of the earlier points. People know they can go there.
Right.
And I think that, in and of itself, access is two-part, right? Ability to get to the facility or to the clinician, but being aware that the clinician is there.
Yeah.
And overnight, that would transform kind of provision of healthcare here. The other aspect to it is kind of, if you build it, they will come in a way, right? So I'm sure, orthopedics was probably kind of eyeing to see what happens with this. Either Casper or potentially Premier want to join.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors about that. They may want to first be involved in the clinic space and then potentially grow it. So a lot of people have their feelers out, and you'll change kind of the economy of the region to some extent. You're not going to be dependent on passing through clientele. You're going to have people that are dedicated to coming here for a specific need, which in turn people realize we can help further kind of provide an additional need. And to have 50 patients a day, That's the goal, right? Independent of testing. That's a huge volume for services such as a restaurant, coffee shop, which Joel and I have been talking about, et cetera. Which provides different types of jobs, but again, starts to expand the business ecosystem of the region.
Yeah, we definitely need a coffee shop.
I'd say, hold on.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of the hospital that's being built up the north end
Yes,
of Riverton. I mean, that's 20 minutes away,
The
Yeah.
difference is they won't have us there.
right?
They'll
Okay.
be referring to us. We're more than happy to work with them,
Well, I figured, you know, for maybe the overnight patients or other things,
Right.
that would be,
potentially. So that's kind of, again, how things evolve.
Yeah.
And
They
truly,
could complement each other.
if we do an ASC here, you know, this is pie in the sky discussion.
sure,
We would have overnight nursing.
okay.
That would be the ideal situation.
Yeah.
Oh, and if more efficient and more, you know, immediate, I mean, that's perfect, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we would expand with the intent of having probably 5 hospital quote unquote rooms. Dedicated lab or 2, probably go in with one of the other specialties that require OR/cath lab space.
Sure.
So that would further expand things. And the way I view it is, the evolution in healthcare currently is getting away from the hospital.
Yeah.
It's cheaper. It's better. And it's more attuned to the patient care.
Well, that's what Fremont Orthopedics did. I mean, they have the outpatient surgery center
Right.
now.
And the same with Casper Orthopedics, et
Right,
cetera.
right.
Many of the codes that are hospital-based for cardiology are evolving to ASC status. So, for example, we're talking about electrophysiologists. Ablations are now going to be performed off-site in ASCs. Structural, which we do as well. For low-risk patients, TAVR, which is aortic valve replacement, that can be done in an outpatient setting. Watchman, which is a little plug to prevent stroke in AFib, and basically what's the appendix of the left upper chamber of the heart. That's an outpatient procedure, can be done.
Yeah.
And patients prefer not going to the hospital. So hospitals have their place, but many of the surgeries and procedures to help reduce costs, improve efficiency, and patient satisfaction have started to move up.
Very nice.
One other thing I'd like to bring up, the Wyoming Cardiopulmonary has been in business in Wyoming since 1978. And it's a recognizable name, you know, like you said, you have generational clients. You may have someone's their grandfather that's seen cardiologists.
Yes.
And that's that name recognition and providing quality care. I mean, Wyoming Cardiopulmonary's got a great reputation. And it's not a startup business, just gonna throw up a shingle and say, here we are.
Yeah, and you know, it's unfortunate what happened to Lander with the cardiologist that was there. It's interesting. So prior to the arrival of Corval, you may have heard of what happened with that practice. They had an outpatient cath lab. Interestingly, they had a hospital-based cath lab. And prior to the CEO recruiting this guy and then resigning and taking care of this cath lab business, we actually presented a business model to them to staff consults at the hospital, do procedures in their cath lab, and obviously see patients. And the volume, we always questioned what the, long-term analysis would be. And so they went from 2 cath labs to no cath labs. In fact, the cath lab that was built in Corval's clinic, I actually inspected for a banner to buy and update one of our own cath labs. They only had 60 hours on the 2, which is like a brand new cath lab. But Corval came to make money. Half the population of Lander have loop recorders. We don't know why. St. Jude loop recorders, which is a little chip that goes under the skin. They don't have diagnoses, nothing. I've had to fix a lot of the things that the vascular surgeon did who worked with him, and that he did. Very, very shocking. And that's not where we're here. That's why we have the reputation we do. We do things as clinically indicated by the guidelines and by the patient's symptoms. So that's, you know, at the end of the day, it's not, we don't have to change. We can keep doing what we do. And for us to move forward, we're taking a lot of costs that we don't really have right now. But we feel as a practice, it's very important to take care of people and to provide improved access to patients and the surrounding counties.
Could you, go ahead.
Why
Please,
can't we use the
Councilwoman.
clinic that we have right now that's open 4 days a week to see if this would actually pan out?
They don't have space for us at this point. So as far as we know, they don't have space. The one in Hot Springs, the family practice,
It's
No, the
too-
one here.
What one we have here is too little.
I know, but just for a starter to see how it's gonna turn out, because I know the one in Casper that was at the Gotchi Center, because I used to take my dad. Maybe isn't very big either.
Or what are you talking? You talking about not the cardiology, are you?
The cardiology part, my dad
Well,
used to
it's-
meet with them there.
Yeah,
We met with Novik there all the time.
no, but there's go,
I don't know
Volume.
that. That's.
yeah,
what
it's
makes
not
it-
large enough
Yeah,
to,
the reason why I know they grew the building is because of patient volume. is
Right,
to
so
have-
you guys are applying for the grant, or we are?
no, we'll get into that, we will be. When we get into that, we'll talk about that.
I thought we're there.
No, we're still answering, Gary's still up, we haven't, because Mark had one more question before we went there. Do you have any questions for the for Dr. Idlechick?
No,
Jake?
I was hung up at work till late.
Yeah,
I'll watch the YouTube video.
So-
for what I missed.
if we are. Any other questions for Dr. Idlechick? We could move on, to talk about the BRC grant loan that the town of Shoshone would be applying for.
Do we need to adjourn the,
Yeah, we need to adjourn this meeting. So can I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Because we're on this right here on public hearing, hey, I'm in complimentary business,
Oh, no. Yeah, we don't have to adjourn. We're here. Mark.
okay,
Yeah, we're here. Let me confused. No, let's talk about the VRC. That is